But guys, thank you for everyone tuning in. Welcome back to another episode of IFTV, the Serie audio experience. We got a lot of different personalities, fans of different teams over here. We had an incredible Serie round, and we are here to break it down. And I'm very happy that we have Ludo here. He doesn't usually come on here, so
thank you for inviting me.
He has a very busy schedule, so I had to book him a couple of months in advance. Thankfully, we got him, and we're all good. What do you call it, Anto? You're looking very serious today.
No, I'm not looking. I'm just waiting to hear for you to introduce.
Anto, you seem upset. What's going on?
Why are you so?
Are you
smiling today?
Are you nervous?
You see, guys. Is the camera on me right now?
Yeah, it is.
All right,
you gotta
guys,
look at the camera.
Listen to me. This guy here that did the presentation, introduction on the podcast, before I came, I said, Anto, whatever you do, I'm going to sit you next to Ludo. Please instigate him.
I did not say that.
Just start a fight.
Anto, you're such a
it's
liar.
not going to happen, but
my
nevertheless, that's the introduction.
There is really nothing to
Number
instigate.
one. Number two, this other guy that you have on your right over here, he comes over and he's starting to argue about the penalty on Oozing yesterday.
Well,
and
we can discuss that later.
It was a highway robbery.
We wanted to know why you're upset.
This other guy, I asked him, was that a penalty? He said, no, absolutely not. So anyway, guys, the podcast is starting on the right note. Napoli 0, AC Milan 1. It would have been. I would be happy even if Napoli would have won. But let's start with the.
No, you can't have the bottle full and the wife drunk. I mean, you have to decide. I would have been happy if Napoli won.
But what kind of AC Milan are you? What kind of fan are you?
Just read my mind.
Okay.
Read my mind.
What are you doing?
For me,
the mind game. You won already. There's no more reason to.
No more mind game.
Yeah, no more mind game.
And I'm telling you what my mind.
Listen. Before the game, you might say, okay, this and that.
But this is my mind game, Paisa. Anybody can win the campionato except you. And you, okay? No Inter and no Juventus. So that's why
I've said from the beginning that the Campionato is going to stay in Milano. Okay. I didn't say which team, but it's going to be Milano.
Okay. So guys, I
agree.
Antonio obviously jumped into this as he usually does because he's getting excited.
Yeah.
But
Mike, straighten him out, please.
I mean, there's nothing wrong. Well, he's jumping the gun. He's excited his team won. But before we do go to that, we got to talk about where there's 5 people here. We're missing our paisa Marco. Marco's currently in Napoli. He was just doing, Gaetano was just listening to him. He was just doing a talk show. He was pitch side at the Maradona for the huge game. He's all over Italy, traveling around. Marco con Marzo. They're doing an incredible little thing with CBS.
Marzo con Marco.
What did I say? Oh, I said the opposite?
Mike, I don't
Pete,
know.
that's why we have you over here.
Oh
but regardless,
Just
guys.
Eminem.
Even better. But CBS is doing this for the month, doing incredible stuff. So if you want to check them out, we got the link in the top of the description. We've been saying if you guys don't already have it, which you got, it's a steal of the century, if you ask me.
So Marco, he went even on a show, on a TV show, which was what?
A local TV show.
Local TV show. TV8, whatever it is. And he's talking in Italian, and he's doing a pretty good job.
Very good job.
Not only that, he's using some words which I don't even know.
Napolitano
Cazzimma.
Cazzimma, yes.
Cazzimma, which I don't even know what it meant. I had to ask. I mean, I have an idea, but I had to ask Ludo, so I don't know if you listen.
Cazzimma is a word that basically puts into perspective lots of things, but into one word. This phrase and this word is also written in the San Paolo Maradona Stadium in Napoli. Today we're going to play with Cazzimma, meaning we're going to play with heart, passion, determination. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be smart. We're going to outplay our opponents.
Okay.
All those
together, which
together
is something,
Cazzimma.
Right?
That you have Cazzimma.
Right.
Either you have it or you don't.
Right, which they didn't do on Sunday.
They didn't do. Absolutely.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow,
continue, please.
Before we talked a little bit about the game, but before that huge game, we do have to talk about the other ones. I want to go in order a little bit and talk about a different team.
I was ready to jump on this guy. Okay, go ahead.
Hold the ammo. We gotta talk about
a little less Cazzimma.
Exactly.
Don't worry, I can handle him.
A different team in Milano first. We have to talk about Inter. They started off the round with a thumping 5-0 win against Salernitana. And a lot of people probably think, oh, it's only Salernitana. But this is Salernitana that drew to Milan a few weeks ago. So we all know there's no easy game in the Serie A. They won 5-0. Lautaro, he had 3 goals. The prior 10 Serie A games, he had 0. So this was huge for his confidence. And Inter also broke another interesting stat. They scored 10 goals against them, conceded 0. This hasn't happened since 1958. So a lot of people were saying Inter got to come out big, got to come out strong, and I think this is definitely what they did today. And Pete, overall, what did this show you for Inter? Do you think this was a one-off, or do you think this was very well needed? Is this something that they can go on the right track with this?
First off, it was expected that Inter win this game.
Yeah.
But in the way that we've been playing, this could have been a very difficult game that could have kind of created the outcome of what is next. I think if there was difficulty even in the first 5 minutes, Salernitana had a very good chance to go up 1-0. Luckily, it didn't happen, and then Inter were able to kind of streamline this game and be able to score the goals that were needed. I think it was very important that Lautaro finally got on the score sheet, and the fact that he scored 3 goals, I was very happy with, because unfortunately he's a striker that he needs to really feel good and he needs to have some momentum. So I'm really expecting now this last 10 or so games that we have, 11 games, he's going to have to step up. We need the goals and the output from both him and Dzeko for this team to go. And I think the biggest piece in this game that maybe doesn't get talked about, obviously because of the 3 goals from Lautaro and 2 goals from Dzeko, is Nicolo Barella. Barella, I thought, had an unbelievable game, and he's also been one of the players on this Inter team that we haven't seen enough. But we know when he's on, he's the engine of this Inter team, where he can do his defensive duties, but also create some chances that we saw. He put Lautaro one-on-one multiple times, was able to get some assists. So he was very, very important in this Inter team. This is a Davide Nicola Salernitana. It's not a Salernitana of the past. Like you said, they've had a recent run of good results, tying AC Milan, who I think Milan right now are the team that's been playing the best football as of yet.
God,
nice
what the hell is wrong with this guy? Something must be wrong with him.
I gave him a little too much Amaro, I think.
Oh my God.
But I think now is the time where this Inter team has to be on track and has to concentrate for these last run of games. And I think we're doing it at the right time now that Lautaro scoring and Dzeko is scoring, because we're also adding players into the team. Correa is coming back from injury. Gosens is now being introduced into this team. So now we have that rotation to be able to mix the players, which is very important until, to conserve the energy to these last couple of games. And I think as we have a couple of tough games coming up, but then towards the end, we kind of, I don't want to say lesser.
It's more relaxed.
Yeah, it's a definitely easier schedule than, let's say, a Milan or even a Napoli.
Napoli, I think, as the toughest of the top 4.
I'll go over them after, yeah.
So there's a big game, obviously, we know. Champions League versus Liverpool. Chances are we're going to be knocked out. We'll see what happens, because the ball is round. But
believe in the miracle.
Yeah, but more importantly, I think this game really put a stamp on this Inter team to say, hey, even though we had a bad run of results, we're finally healthy, we're finally concentrated, and our top guys are able to score.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you guys have anything
Anyway, well
to add
said.
to
Let me just, can I just,
Of course.
Peter is a masterful guy in creating this word salad. He just takes so many ingredients just to describe something that is so stupid. That Inter beats Salernitana. Come on, man.
But you drew with them a couple of weeks ago.
Let me just say something to you.
What?
This Lautaro is becoming a mental case, number one. Scoring with Salernitana is not him coming out of the slump, regardless what Barella did or didn't do. they're gonna be suffering and they're gonna be spilling blood starting from Tuesday. Actually, tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, Liverpool.
I can't wait to see them just being destroyed on the field.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I'm just joking. I want to push for Inter to move forward. Because,
right. Because it helps Milan. If
it
they
helps
do push
Milan
it.
down the line because we want them to qualify and actually go to the final. Pete, I wish we'd go to the final of the Champions League. Shake my hands. I really mean it. Look at me. I really mean it. So anyway, Peter is one of these masterful guys that is really in a tough situation. He finds the way to put Inters all the time on top, even when they suck. So
you know what you love to do? You love to throw the rock and hide your hand.
That's what Peter does.
No, that's what
I do. Well, anyway. Well, coming down on throwing the rock and hiding the hand, I'm going to do it to him right now. So, on yesterday's stream, Ludo was missing.
Yes, I was missing.
Wait,
correct.
We're not going to go.
All right, we're not going to go right there. Okay, all right.
No, I just want to say something about Inter.
Let's talk about
Inter.
I think Inter is, to my belief, Inter is favorite to win the Scudetto.
Still, it hasn't changed.
They have a solid roster, and I think Inter at this point needs to find itself. There were a few games where Inter lacked a little bit of shape, being in shape, a little bit Andanovic, certain
errors
that he made. The team was not well overall. And everyone goes through that more or less throughout the season. I mean, 5-6 games, a month and a half, everyone goes through that. I think Inter has the capability of finding itself. Tomorrow is the last hurdle. They'll put everything into it, trying to beat Liverpool. Hopefully they'll get a quick goal, and that gives you the momentum to
turn it around.
Turn it upside down. I mean, at least you got to finish the half winning 1-0. At least you got to score one goal the first half. But everything falls into place with the players that they have and coming back to shape. Plus Lautaro starting to score. I think Inter has a great chance of winning this Scudetto. They just need to find themselves.
Yeah. Do you think the slump is over though? Really quick, Ludo, from you.
It's too early to tell. We'll get a good answer tomorrow, based on the game, on the mental approach that Inter will put against Liverpool tomorrow, and then of course next Sunday.
Just to piggyback off that, and then I'll let Gaetano talk. This Inter team this past month have played very tough games versus Liverpool, versus Milan, versus Napoli, Sassuolo, who has been having an unbelievable season, especially versus the top teams. So you had all these top games. I think physically we looked exhausted, but I think also errors, but also mentally, I think the Milan game especially, where you're winning and dominating for 60 minutes,
correct,
and then to lose that game 2-1, and then even versus Liverpool, where you're dominating for 60 minutes and still lose 2-0.
But you're not getting anything from what you produced.
I think that those are two psychological blows.
Agree.
Back to back that really got
that's
this
what I
team.
said. You need to find Inter needs to find itself.
You had the chance to be up 3, 4, 5 points at one point, and you missed that opportunity. So when you have that opportunity, you have to take it. So I think that they were missing even before that. I know they played a lot of games, but you also have a deep bench. You have players that could have come in. Against Genoa, there you needed to do better there and get the points, because now you have one game on hand. You can go one up with the Genoa. You could have been 3-4 points easy, so that when you have then that tough game, something happened. But going back to to Inter, sometimes I feel like Inzaghi, I don't know, he does not motivate these guys. You have the players, you have the best players in the league, okay? Right now you should be 3 or 4 points ahead.
Yeah.
In the standings.
I agree.
I just want to throw a quick question.
Hold on. I have a question. Do you think Inzaghi lacks that maturity as far as Serie A?
Yes.
Or that international maturity of being an international coach for Inter in China? You think he lacks both?
Both.
And Gaetano, do you think has your opinion of Inzaghi changed from the beginning of the season till now, or it's the same idea?
I mean, I got to give him credit. Is with the win is in first place. With the game on hand is in first place. Huh?
1 point in first.
1
You
point.
already won the game, you're saying.
No, I'm saying
He
with
said if they win,
with,
with
if,
with
if
the win.
the win,
Yes.
they're in first place.
What if they lose?
Well, they're still in second place, so they're still there. They're still up there. So he was able to keep the team at a higher level. But if you don't win, I'm sorry, you need to win, and you need to win the Scudetto. If you don't, then you're not the coach, which I have always said. You know, to become a great coach, you got to win.
Listen, Mike, let me just reply to what I said. So, Inter, it lacks this 1 or 2 punch that you need to knock the opponent down. Yesterday, as a joke, Poli showed up. Poli's he had the 1-2 punch just to put somebody out of misery. So Poli, unfortunately, is an AC Milan fan, and he came in at the right time on the right moment. And Ludo, I think, felt to show up to just, he says, winning team, winning situation doesn't get changed. So, unfortunately, that was an X factor yesterday. So, the 1 or 2 punches you guys are missing, it's not because of Inzaghi. Inzaghi's got a lot of drive. It's the player and the mentality. Some of those players, they're not ready to win the Campionato. I got news for you. This year, we're going to win. Watch this. You're going to kiss this if we win the Campionato. This is a similar year. Not because we deserve it, because you guys suck. You guys really suck.
But
very simple.
I'm telling you right now.
All right, so talk
You guys
about...
don't have the 1 or 2 punch.
Okay, do you
This
have...
guy already give you the Campionato because
you-
already put the 3 points with the Bologna
All right.
already.
Do
on the
you
column.
have the 1-2 punch?
Yes, we do.
You don't.
We do.
What do you mean you do?
We do.
What did you do against Salernitana?
We've been penalized.
What did you do
We've
against
been
Cagliari?
penalized.
What did you do against
Spezia,
Cagliari?
we got penalized. Salernitana, we got penalized.
Cagliari.
We got
Yeah,
penalized.
right.
You didn't get
forget that.
penalized.
You got everybody.
You didn't get penalized with
Excuses.
Napoli.
Listen to me.
Excuses.
Listen to me. Pay attention. You guys are on the wrong track. Stop criticizing Inzaghi.
You are full of BS.
This guy-
Excuses.
This guy is dreaming about Juventus winning the Campionato.
No, I
He's
never said that.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
never
didn't
said
say
that.
it in front of the mic because you're afraid.
No,
but you
never
said it
said
before.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing.
Tell me.
You don't have the 1-2 punch. You don't have the 1-2 punch, and you don't have the 1-2 punch.
That's the reason why it's
because
I'll
right now, because Napoli could have been 3-4 points ahead right now. Okay, all of you
I
guys.
agree with him.
Yeah.
And then you missed. That's what I said.
Yeah,
That's
right.
my point.
No,
it's true.
we'll get into the Napoli
We'll get
game,
into that, but I just wanted to say, give a little credit to Inzaghi, because when Conte left and Inter seemed like a sinking ship with their top goal scorer leaving, with Hakimi leaving, a world-class fullback leaving, everyone said, oh, Inter in a catastrophe. But Inzaghi took a team that was in disarray and leveled them out and actually made them, maybe they can win it again. So let's not...
He did more. He did more with less, right, Mike?
So let's not jump the gun immediately and say, if Inzaghi doesn't win, this is not a good coach, because he brought this team and he left it tranquil now. He brought.
But he also had to
brought
change a little
tranquility
bit the
to it.
style of play of what Conte
Of
was
course.
playing. More possession,
100%.
more of attacking as a unit. That takes a little bit of toll on players, and that's why you saw the month of January that Inter had.
Yeah, but as Ludo was saying before, all teams go through this.
Yes.
So it's not.
Yes.
I don't think it's the end of the world if Inter lose the Scudetto, let's say, because there's as we said, there's it's a 4-horse race, I believe.
Your mind is playing game with you, my friend. Listen, how many of you in this table right now at this podcast, today's what? March 7, 2022, how many of you are willing to bet your house that Inter is going to be winning the Campionato?
We don't own a house. We all rent.
We all
Well,
right.
this guy already...
We'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk more about it when we get into the Scudetto talk. But we have to go on to the next game, because if we talk this much about the Inter game,
right, go to
forget about the Napoli. We're gonna
Go
be here
to the
all
next
night.
game.
And
Go
I don't
to the
mind. I'm
next
saying for
game.
you guys.
Go to the
I
next
want to talk
game.
about Roma versus Atalanta. A lot would say a surprising result, 1-0 against Atalanta. Mourinho's doing some damage, but not on the sidelines because he's been suspended the past 2 games, and they did end up getting the 6 points. And Mourinho also joked, "Listen, you guys don't need me on the bench anymore, so you don't have to see me over there." But all joking aside, Tammy Abraham got the 1-0 win. He has 20 goals in his debut season in all competitions. He has 13 Serie A goals. This is his first season from the Premier League. I think he's very underrated, and a lot of people don't talk about him. I want to say an incredible stat from him. Currently on the debut, the most goals in their debut seasons for Roma: Batistuta, 21 goals in 32 games. Montella, 21 goals in 41 games. Tammy Abraham, 20 goals in 36 games. He has at least 10 games left, 10 to 15. And he only needs one more goal just to tie with those legends on his debut season. And a lot of people are talking about, Ciro Immobile, Vlahovic, Simeone. But Tammy Abraham, could we say he's the real deal? In the first season in Serie A, the hardest league in the world to score on. What does that tell you, Ludo?
It is the real deal. For some players, coming to Serie A the first year, they make a significant impact. But then, of course, the defenders, the other coaches, the other teams, they study the individual, the forward, and then they find a way to stop him, and they don't score that many goals. Then you have other players where they take a little bit of time adjusting to the tactics and the compactness of the Italian defense, and they don't score that many goals, but then they get used to it. And then the second year, they come out. So Abraham is one of those forwards that the first year made an impact. Now we have to see if next year he's going to be the same forward where he will score 15, 16, 17 goals. Like, I don't know how many goals he has this year.
He has 13 Serie A goals.
13 Serie A goals, and still have 10 games to go. So he'll probably finish 17, 18.
And no
now we have to
penalties,
see
right?
next year if he can score.
I don't think
If he can score the same way.
I think he has a penalty. So with 4 or 5 penalties, this guy has almost 20 goals.
Correct. So now, as far as Mourinho, he has full support from the owners. And those owners, they don't talk a lot. They basically, they're in the background, but he has green light on everything, on all the decision-making that he needs to do. And Mourinho is the type of coach, wherever he goes, he identifies the bad apples, and he will do everything in his power to get rid of those bad apples, and he'll bring in new players, even with the Primavera. But he wants players that fight 150%, that listen to him, that follow him, and they say, yes, sir. They go on the field, and they do what they need to do, and they'll get rid of the bad apples. And that's what he has, the green light, and he has full support of the ownership.
I agree with you. He definitely has everyone's back over there, especially the players, the management. I just want to say Roma are unbeaten in their past 7 Serie A games for the first time since 2020. So, like, again, I want to give a lot of credit, especially a coach or player for the first season. But it seems like the players are kind of gelling with Mourinho, Gaetano. What do you think?
And if you, I follow some of the games, and sometimes Abraham is all alone up there.
He needs the service.
You know, he needs. So those guys that are behind him, which is Mickey,
Zaniolo,
Pellegrini. Which is Pellegrini. Sometimes they leave him all alone. Can you imagine when you got somebody behind you that gives you those nice balls? I think it's going to even do better.
How many goals do you think he could get?
He can get 20. He can get 20 goals a season because the guy is the real thing.
Yeah,
he is the real thing.
He has everything to be a top striker. I think.
Yes,
he has all the tools.
Yes.
I mean, he's big physical striker, and he's also lightning quick. If he's able to concentrate just a little bit more and being able to be more lethal with his shots to pick the spots. This guy can score easily 20 goals a season, I think.
He has 2 penalties, by the way.
Yeah, so it's very few. Okay. So, I mean, he has all the tools. He has everything that you want as a prototype number 9. Now, does he solidify it, like Ludo said? Because I think you could have those one-hit wonders, and then what happens? So you have to be, a lot of times in the top leagues, it's the consistency that wins and makes you a legend or a top player.
I would like to say also one thing about Zaniolo. Zaniolo, I think, has the attributes to become a great leader, but he needs to grow. He needs to grow very quickly if he wants to be the Roma leader. He cannot talk and complain in a certain way and get thrown out of the game the last couple of minutes. If he's the captain, if he's the leader of Roma, you have to maintain that calmness and transmit it
Throughout
to
the
the
team.
team.
Yeah.
Also, social media. Too much social media. And his mom gets involved on social media.
And tattoos too.
Tattoos,
Everyone
that's
has
part of
tattoos,
the...
that doesn't matter.
But you understand, when you have social media, this combo and the personality,
It fogs your
that's
brain.
a lethal
So
weapon.
the question for any one of you can answer. What's his position? What is his real position
Trequartista.
of Zaniolo?
I think a winger.
He's a winger.
Personally,
Right winger.
I think right winger.
Right
Whenever I
wing.
see right winger, I think he does best there because he has the speed. He knows how to cut, and he can take out an opponent. So I think he struggles more
So
centrally.
you're saying as a winger?
I think as a winger he.
So
he excels.
the 4-4-2,
No, on the 4-3-3
no, like a
too.
4-3-3. I think
4-3-3.
Yeah.
the
He's a right
4-3-3.
winger, yeah.
What about you?
I see more towards the middle because I
The
see
middle?
his speed, the way he progresses. He changes speed while he's running. He goes to that next gear. And that gives you the advantage to
What do you
take
think?
that
I don't know if
opponent
we
on
know his
1v1.
real position yet.
Well, he's been playing a little bit of both because
Yeah,
even in this
plays
game
everywhere.
he played as the second striker with
Correct.
supporting
Well,
with Tammy.
Right
I
now.
Between the lines.
Yeah, Mourinho put him up front with
Yeah. With Tammy.
with Tammy. Right, the two up front there. I mean, I've seen him. He had some chances where he could score. He hit the post. He's a little bit late. He takes a beautiful shot, but he's a little bit late. Somebody pushes him. He goes on the floor. I don't know. Is he really a forward, like a forward, or should he come from behind?
I think he should come from behind.
From
He
behind.
likes to
I
start
don't know.
from the back.
I would like to see him on the 4-2-3-1.
As a right mid.
The three.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah,
those
one of
three
the three on the
players.
right.
One attacking
You know,
midfielder
either
or
on the left
winger.
or on the right.
On the right. That's got it because he puts his ball on the left to take the
Yeah,
shot.
right. Okay.
That's a-
For the people for our audience, if you wanna, you can write in and tell
let
us
us know.
Sometimes it's
what
also
else.
how the player is shape-wise. I mean, how is he physically? That's probably what also the coach will give him a certain assignment based also on his physical aspect of that current moment, to do less running, to do more running, depend also on how he feels physically.
I like to beg to disagree with Ludo on the previous statement that he made about Mourinho. Mourinho is not this magician that you guys are
I didn't say
making
was
into
it- I didn't
Well,
say the word
anyway, so
magician.
you said that.
Did I say magician?
No,
said
well,
anyway.
sort of. So that he takes away the bad apples,
Yes.
and he
That's
fills
not
up.
a- that's a
the
magician.
Try to create
A
his
magician
own,
takes
Let me just remind you something about Mourinho. Let me just remind you something about Mourinho. Okay.
He won the triplete.
Take it
He won
easy.
the
Take it
Champions League with
easy.
Porto.
Okay, you had your chance. No, it's my chance. Okay. This is what Mourinho does. When he was at Real Madrid, they were killing AC Milan to get Kaká from AC Milan. He gets Kaká gets benched, Kaká career is over. When he was at Chelsea, what did he do? He gets Shevchenko from AC Milan. Tutte e due palloni d'oro. Don't laugh. He takes Shevchenko, he sits him on the bench, and his Shevchenko career is over.
No, that I blame his wife.
Yes.
That I blame Shevchenko's wife.
And Mourinho. Then he goes, where else? What was the next team? He goes to
Manchester United.
Manchester United.
Pogba.
What did he do?
What did he do?
Pogba. He destroys Pogba. Then he goes to Tottenham.
So it's just all Mourinho.
It's Mourinho.
I don't think so.
It's Mourinho's mentality that when things they don't go right, not 100%, 70% that don't go right, he's starting to focus on the big gun and the leaders of the team, and he destroys them. In Real Madrid, and then I'm going to finish with this, he tried to destroy the best defense on the world with Sergio Ramos, you name it. Those are the people that they won the World Championship for Spain 2 years in a row and the European Championship. This guy here gets into the head of people. To me, I wouldn't even hire him if he will be paying me.
Listen, Mourinho, the thing is, I think he's a great coach and he's obviously a great psychologist, right?
I don't know
As far as
about that.
He is. Because there's a lot of players that they would literally run through the wall, and they've said it for Mourinho. I think it's also a matter of fit. I think Mourinho and Real Madrid, that's not the right fit for Mourinho. Mourinho needs that us versus everyone type of mentality, and he tried to do the same thing with the Real Madrid locker room. Whereas, like you said, Sergio Ramos, Casillas are not going to buy into that hatred.
He uses every tool available
against
complaining,
Barca.
the referees, the media.
Exactly.
He'll use everything.
There's a rivalry versus Barca, but I'm not going to say these are my enemy. I'm going to do everything in my power to kill my enemy. That's Mourinho's mentality.
I just do not see Mourinho on a long-term project.
I don't know.
I do not see a Mourinho like a
agree with
Gasperini.
But you got to give him credit.
I agree with this.
No,
I agree with
long-term
this.
project,
Well,
like a Gasperini staying
but
a long
you know
time
why?
on the
Because Mourinho, if you look, everywhere he's been, he's only been there for 2-3 years.
Right.
Because he drains his players.
Whoa. Let's not go there. Listen to me.
Let's wrap
Please.
this topic up.
Look at the stats and look at what he does. Mourinho, except for the first year that he won in Portugal, he always inherited top of the line teams with the world-class
What about
players.
Ancelotti?
Wait a moment. We're talking about Mourinho right now.
Sure,
Mourinho,
because
stop
you wanna
with
change
Ancelotti. Ancelotti has won.
With who?
With Real Madrid.
Oh, and with
top
who
team.
else?
We'll take it easy. He won with the
PSG.
Yeah.
Bayern.
Chelsea-
All top
with Chelsea.
teams.
Sometimes his attitude backfires
Listen,
on Mourinho
listen
when he
to me,
complains
listen.
with the media and all
Mourinho-
that, and the refs and all that.
The
and that
second
gets-
statement that Ludovico made
and
is
they make him pay.
he cannot really stay on the same team for more than 2 years. Then
All right, let's see
Okay,
what
let's-
Gaetano thinks.
You want to say something quickly, Gaetano, on this?
Real quick with Mourinho. I mean, I think he did a fantastic job with Inter and the triplet. I mean, that was something that it was never done. So what he did there, I mean, that to me was some job. But what he was saying is, I think that when the team is not doing well, or if he's not playing well, he will do something before the end of the game, so that at the end of the game you talk about Mourinho, you don't talk about how bad they played. So he will go like this,
or we'll go like that.
it will go like that, or
Shift the focus.
Yeah, one time they played really a bad game. I don't remember who they played. I think Lazio. I don't remember. He got everybody in the middle of the game was over. He got in the middle of the field. Everybody made a circle, and so at the end of the game, and he talked to the players. At the end of the game, they wanted to know what Mourinho said to the players, right in the center. Yeah. I mean, he could have done it in the locker room. He could have done it. No, he did it in the center of the field, so that at the end of the game, the question was, what did you tell the players? Not that the team
And
played
now what
well.
happened in the 90 minutes.
Right.
He shifts the attention.
Yeah.
Yes. No. He definitely does that for sure. I think he's smarter than a lot of people give him credit for, to save himself and to put him in a better position. But moving on from
But
this,
he brings Mike.
Yeah.
Just to finish, he brings charisma. He sells newspapers.
Yeah,
he
of
gets
course.
people
He's a
attached to the
character.
TV.
Yeah, he's a character, 100%.
And
When they interview him, people want to watch.
and he
Okay, what is he
also-
going to say now?
100%.
And one thing about Roma, especially in Roma,
It's not an easy city to
but
coach.
it demands respect.
Of course.
Okay, because there are some coaches that they're not respected, and they're not respected in front of everybody. He demands respect, and he creates some kind of togetherness. I mean, I know people that have been with him, and they have seen him in action, and they have seen him. One time he walked in, and everybody was sitting, and everybody at the table, and everybody was drinking, and he realized that some part of the staff, the ones that clean the clothes, they were drinking a different wine than the staff, than the coaches. And he said, why are they not drinking the same wine as my staff? He goes, change that wine, because everybody drinks the same wine. That's the type of guy, and he will bring everybody from the guy that cleans the clothes to the staff. He will try to bring everybody together.
That's good. That's good to hear, especially hearing.
You know why?
from
Because
you
it's not paying the
firsthand.
bills. That's why.
This guy. I think you got to give him credit somewhere. But moving on,
You gotta be Porto one.
Roma did play Atalanta though, and on the other side, Atalanta are kind of in a drought. Actually, they only have one Serie A win their past 7 games, so seems like Zapata is really, really badly missed, and he's going to be out for the season. A lot of people saying, "Oh, Atalanta's magic's over. Oh, they're not the team that they once were." Do you guys see that? Do you think it's a rough patch, as how we see every other team, or do you think there's something more to that?
I think Zapata it's a main staple for Atalanta, and it's not. I'm not saying that Atalanta is Zapata dependent, but Zapata is. It's
Zapata dependent.
No, Zapata. It's rock.
But even Muriel not doing what he did in the past.
Well, Muriel,
the right
Muriel,
time.
Bravo, Ludo.
The right
Yeah,
place,
but
the right
Ludo's
time.
right. Muriel, we are used to see Muriel coming in when the game is already
and taking
started.
the chestnuts
Right.
out of the fire.
So Zapata is not
not
an easy player to sub. So I think he's suffering for that.
But other than that, do you guys think there's something more to
No.
this Atalanta, or do you think their spark kind of fell and they're not going to be a top 4 contender anymore?
They're still right there. I
they're
just
right
think
there.
with Juventus, obviously with the Vlahovic signing, he's really been able to lead this Juve to where they have to be. I think, which is
I don't think it's only the
Champions League.
Vlahovic signing with Juventus. I don't think so.
But we'll
I think
discuss.
there's more.
We'll
talk
discuss
more.
that.
Is
But
that on the
definitely,
agenda?
Yeah, of
but
course.
definitely, I think this Atalanta team without the Zapata. I think if Inter without Dzeko, Milan obviously without Ibrahimovic, but if you guys were without Leao, who I think is the best player of Milan. So just imagine one of your best players being out. I think all the teams would really
Yeah, but
struggle.
why wouldn't you not, if you know that, if you as a coach and as an organization, Percassi and Gasperini, identify as Zapata being the main problem, why wouldn't you intervene in the January market and try to get a forward?
Yeah, I
And
agree
try
with you.
to replace. I mean, you're not going to be able to replace him 100%, but at least you have somebody that can guarantee.
Even a free
You should
agent.
have somebody
Even a
with
free agent.
similar qualities. But
Correct.
this is also the same problem as
Characteristics.
Inter, for example. Dzeko out of the equation, you don't have that target number 9.
There's only one at Inter. You're right.
And this has been a problem for Atalanta.
I mean, I'm sure Piontek was available for Fiorentina, for example, but he was also available for Atalanta.
Yeah.
I don't think Gasperini sees much on Piontek.
Or somebody like Cabral. I mean,
I
these
agree.
guys, 17,
They
18,
went after
20 million.
Boga. They did spend for Boga.
I think
know it was a
Boga
different.
was a good-
I like it as
But
a
not
signing,
someone
but he's
as
not
a-
the number
He's
9.
not a
that
nine.
you need.
Correct.
That's
Type
going to
of
win you those
play.
games.
I just don't see that same spark, that same
I
characteristics
think
that.
To me, they hit a rough
Atalanta
patch, Ludo. They
in
hit a
the
rough
past
patch.
few
They
years,
are hitting
correct.
a rough patch, and I think
It's one of those seasons that things do not go.
But also, it's a very
your way.
tricky season this year because you can't guess a game.
Yeah, it's true.
There's
You're
so
looking
many.
for
so many
another
good teams.
great player, Ilicic. Again, he went into. I mean, he has
Personal reasons.
Personal problem.
Personal reasons. We wish him well, but nobody expected a second time.
But I think I found the solution, and I want to ask Gaetano if he agrees with me. Gaetano, don't you think a lot of
No.
teams? Don't you think that a lot of teams they adjusted to Atalanta's style of play? They don't let be the aggressor. They actually go and they press them high too.
Yeah, the teams, they do adjust every week. I mean, because now you see all the videos. I mean, you know exactly what the other team is going to
Their
do.
footsteps, every
You know,
footstep.
you know everything. With the video, you know everything.
They have a week to study your opponent.
Right. So, yeah, they do adjust to the way Atalanta. But I think Atalanta
What's their problem?
this year, I don't know if that motivation is there to be in the top. I don't think they are top 4 team
What
anymore.
changes though? Is it the competition? Is it them?
It's tough. The
what
competition
it?
is
Well,
tough, Mike.
you know,
I
sometimes
don't know, 1 win in 7
you know,
games.
you have a bad game. Let's say Milan, you know, they tied and they have a bad game against the last place team, and you know they have a bad game. Cagliari, they have a bad game, but then the next game they come up and they win 5-0. You know, or they go and
You don't see
I would
that
like
now.
to now see the reaction of Napoli the next game, which they have a tough game. I think against Verona.
Yeah.
You know, you lost 1-0. Now you got to come up the next game, and you have to win that game with Katsima. Okay, so that's the difference. Do you have those the
He's not
quality
reacting,
players
yeah.
to react, or maybe those players? We spoke with Paulie yesterday, and we said, what's the difference between a good player and a champion? You know, and I agree with him, and I have seen this all the time. You know, the great player, they go out, they play, but what makes the difference with the champion? The champion, when you come out on the 10th round and you have nothing left. There's nothing there. You're dead. Your mind, they're good. They found a way to fight and stay in the ring. There's that guy, he's a great fighter, but he comes out in the tent and he said, that's it, I give up. And they go down.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I also think, in regards to Atalanta, I think that the initial project that Atalanta started, I think it's over. Basically, hold on, I'll explain. I think from that project, if from the type of players that and what Atalanta tried to do, I think they were squeezed like lemons. Where do we go from here?
Like
yes,
Conte
we
with his
did
player.
qualify for Champions League 3-4 years. Yes, we do probably qualify for the next round of Champions League, but then it's over. Where do we go from here? And that's going back to what Gaetano said. What are the next
steps?
Motivation.
They've
So
been
now
just
you have
bought
this
by
new
the
group.
That's what I was
Americans.
about to say.
Now you have this new
This new
group that
Americans
just
that
invested
has-
400 million.
Yeah.
Now, do we take the team
To the
and
next
spend
level.
the money and take it to the next
level,
level?
yeah.
Or we're gonna stay fourth, fifth, sixth,
Yeah.
qualify for the next round of Champions League, and then get knocked out? But you need constant, motivation, or you're gonna sit into that reality. That's the question of the. For next year for Atalanta.
I do want to say, I do think it is a mixture of things, especially competition, seeing where they do stand as a Serie A team. Because before they were a top 4 team, but a lot of people questioned if they had enough of the juice, enough of the roster to really win the Scudetto. It was more of like a dream and like a miracle rather than it being closer to a reality. And it seemed like, not saying they didn't push for the Scudetto, but instead of buying top players to win the Scudetto, maybe it seemed like they wanted to stay in that top 4 rather than go for more. Like a Milan, like a Juventus, like Inter, like a Napoli.
A team like Atalanta takes a toll. When you play Wednesday and Sunday, Champions League, and then you play, Serie on Sunday, it takes a toll based on the roster that you have.
You don't
It
have
does
the
take a
depth.
toll.
But you have to also remember that a lot of things have to align. The stars have to align for you to win the Scudetto. Like we discussed before.
The
like,
triplete,
Yeah.
the Ranieri at Leicester. I mean, all these things have to, whatever you touch has to be goal.
Exactly. Things have
has to turn into goal.
stay on track. And when you lose arguably 2 of your better players, Ilicic and Zapata, it's very difficult for Atalanta to make that next step. And then also without the cash, let's say, without having someone that's going to be able to spend money and buy the better players, it's hard to make
Why
that
would you
jump.
sell Gosens in January and not wait until June?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
I mean,
so many different things to look
Why?
at.
You want to qualify for Champions League? Why sell the player?
Yeah.
Wait 6 months.
Yeah, that
But
was a big mistake.
to be fair, they're right there. I think Atalanta still has a game at hand.
A game in hand, yeah.
So
It'll be
they're
3
in
points.
the mix. It's just sometimes you need that little lady luck. Juventus versus Fiorentina in the Coppa Italia, they didn't have one shot on target, and they end up winning the game 1-0.
Still with no
So-
shot on target, though.
Yeah.
Don't go. Yeah.
Yeah. So things have to fall into place. In years past, Muriel will come in and find a way to score. This year they don't have that guy.
No,
Mark, it's a combination of teams. They got a lot of better. Serie A is one of the best campionato.
yeah.
We are discussing this day in and day out with the help of Paramount Plus that these teams here right now in Serie A, they make a tough competition. So Atalanta, if last year or 1 or 2 years ago would have won, would just destroy Roma. Right now they wound up losing. A day-tying game that they normally would have won. So it is tough. Nobody.
Whoever will watch Atalanta last year, 2 years ago, what would the first thing you would say when you watch the game on TV? Are these guys on drugs?
Yeah.
They were machines.
Never stop.
They were
Never stop.
machines. No, it's true.
Never stop.
It's true. But moving on, Peter was talking about Juventus and talking about sometimes you do need that lady luck. And they did win 1-0 against Spezia today. I don't know how many people saw the match, but it wasn't the most convincing wins. Spezia were pretty much in the game almost the whole time. They had a couple chances almost to equalize. Morata got the goal. He missed one that could have made it 2-0. But regardless, Juventus got that classic Allegri 1-0 gritty, tough win.
Ugly win.
But that's his style. That's how he goes,
I'm not lying.
No. You need to win those ugly games
Exactly.
sometimes in order to reach your
As a
goal.
good team, you got to get those games. But Allegri likes to overdo it. That's his style. But they are on a 14-game unbeaten streak in Serie A. And they're only 4 points away from Napoli and made a gap of 6 points away from Atalanta. So it seems like they want to lock in that top 4 spot right there. But Gaetano, I want a question for you. I know you saw a little bit of the game, so the highlights, seen how they play. Did they convince you to be a Scudetto winning team, or do you think they have it? Do you think they don't have it? They're creeping up slowly. What do you make their season out to be?
So when you have a way that, especially the 3 top teams, to go 4, 5, 6 points ahead, and you don't do it, you're making teams like Juventus hang around, and you're now within striking distance.
Yeah.
And now some of the players are starting saying, hey, we believe that we can catch you. Now, you have to understand also how many injuries Juventus has.
They had like 9 the last time, I believe.
The last time you went over, they had 9 injuries with top players, like
starters,
like Chiesa, Bonucci, and Chiellini, and things like that. So what happens if you let them hang around in the 4th position, in the 5th position? When these guys start coming back, hey, you never know.
Trouble for the rest of the team.
Yes.
It's either trouble or it's going to get worse. I'll tell you why. Because the great-grandparents of grandfathers that is naming, like Bonucci and Chiellini, those 2 guys is probably the biggest liability that Juventus had. And the fact that they're not playing right now, this is one of the main reasons that Juventus is winning. So I will not, that's the glasses are full. It's just not quite, let me just stitch my mouth before I say something wrong.
I'm just interested in hearing what Ludo has to say, because for me, this Juventus team desperately needed a Vlahovic, and I think the main reason why this team is playing better or have been undefeated for these 14 games is because they know now that you have a number 9 up top that can score goals, and you can play your Allegri system, and he'll just score and find a way to score.
Well, I think we have to start from the top. And the top is you are playing for a club like Juventus. Juventus as an organization installs on the players that winning mentality. That when you reach Juventus, you are in a winning club. You play to win, and you have to reach that mentality. Certain players do not reach right away that mentality. It takes a little bit of time. Some of them do it right away. Now, when you have a coach like Allegri, that first of all, based on what he had, he said, I need to work on the defense. First, let's not get them. Then we'll find a way to score. Now, you buy a player like Vlahovic that could put the ball in the net. You sell a couple of players. You reorganize the team. You get a first tie. You get a win. You get another win. Now you do start winning. But it's the approach of Juventus, the Serie A approach, the mentality that Juventus in the big games, when they need to show up, they do not fail. They do show up, and they will give you a game, and they will find some way, like a big team and a strong team mentally will find a way to win it. I think that goes beyond bringing in a Vlahovic or another player. It's the overall mentality and what that shirt and what that club means to Serie A and the mentality of finding a way to win, showing up for the important games and not failing the important appointments.
Well, I think I can summarize is that Juventus will have a bad game and they'll win the game.
Exactly.
Right. That's because a strong team mentally will find a way to win the game.
Right.
But Ludo, a question for you: do they have what's your percentage for Juve? Do they have what it takes to creep in and kind of take the Scudetto towards the last day of the season or something like that?
I think personally, the Scudetto is for Inter to lose. And right, I think it's overall the roster based on what we spoke before. I think Inter is the better equipped overall team to win the Scudetto. Juventus there, ready to take advantage, ready to jump on you, ready to hurt you if you give Juventus the opportunity. They are still behind. But I think Juventus, based on the team that that Allegri has since the beginning of the year, getting into Champions League, getting those 40, 50 million, you already spent 70, you invest a little bit more of money in the summer transfer market, you could have a very good competitive team next year with certain changes. Yes, you do need to change the two center backs. I mean, the Chiellini and Bonucci.
You already changed them. They
rarely
play.
One of them, yes, but you need to
rarely
find a replacement.
Ludo, they rarely play those two center backs that you say. Bonucci and Chiellini, they rarely play. This is probably the main reason why Juventus is not taking goals with those two second.
They just won the Euro for Italy
Take it
a few
easy.
months ago.
And they just won.
Come
was
on.
last year. Don't say that.
It was recent.
They have now Rugani. They have Rugani. They have Delict. The Sciglio is coming back little by little. You know, they're scrappy.
I'll tell you one thing. In a big game, you put Chiellini there.
And then for that big game, and then
it's not going to make you score a goal.
Games out of the year.
How many more big
How many games can he play? 6, 7, 8?
Whenever he plays. But when there's a big game and you need it,
100%.
you put him there.
I think Ibrahimovic just played more than Chiellini.
You are guaranteed it's not going to make the other.
No, but I think the
forwards
biggest
go
thing
there.
is that Delict has recently come out saying that he's now interested in this Juventus project. I think what Agnelli did, realizing that this is a time that Juventus have to push for that Champions League, because without the Champions League money, we're not going to be able to do anything. And investing the money now instead of saying, let's see what happens in June.
Then
So
you
it
have
was
a guy
big,
like Paratici that gets
that
two plays
helps,
from
of
you.
course. That helps as well. Yes, that helps as well.
That he still works for Juventus and he buys those players. And now you already pay for Vlahovic.
Yeah, no, of course. But at the same time, they made the moves to get the player. And I understand what you're saying as far as Allegri and even with this Juventus. I don't think the way that this Juventus team started out was what they really were. The players that they have caliber players that should be pushing for Scudetto. What they were missing was that number 9. That's why I referenced Vlahovic as being that missing piece. And maybe it was just a little too late. For next year, they have something.
I don't think we should be talking about Juventus as far as the Scudetto.
No, not for
you
the
have
Scudetto.
30, 40 Scudettos as much as they have. They won 9 in a row. It's taking Juventus to the next level. What do we need? All right, you made the error with Ronaldo. You got away from that. You made a few errors by obtaining players at zero cost and just paying them their salary. Oh, that guy's available from Arsenal. Oh, let's get him. Oh, that plays also bad. Oh, it doesn't cost us anything. Here's 8 million, play. No, you need to find prospects. You need to find players that do fit in the project. And I'm going to finish with this. I don't think Dybala should be part of the future of the project of Juventus. That's my opinion. I think Juventus should step away from Dybala and invest with that money, that contract invested on another player that could guarantee you being more consistent and not only 10, 15 games a year. That's my opinion.
Ludo, Dybala is out already. Even though
I do not know.
We don't know.
That's
even
my
though the
opinion.
paper they don't say it, Dybala is out.
Anto, what's your source? You got an inside source?
I just know somebody. I'm not
What
gonna
do you
tell
think, Eda?
because
You think Dybala should be part of the
I think
Juventus
he's out.
project?
He's out.
He's got all the quality of the number 10
That's a big gamble.
of a great player, but he gets hurt all the time. And you cannot count on the big game. When the big game comes, he's sitting on the bench. He's sitting in tribuna. So
I think a lot of those injuries are psychological?
No.
Yeah.
I think if you keep getting hurt and every year after year, at one point, maybe after a few years, they could become psychological. But maybe physically, he's not there. He's not there. And the way that Allegri wants him to play, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Can't do that.
He's not that kind of player. And I see him slide tackle him, in his own half. Dybala is not the player to slide tackle in his own half. He's a finesse player. He's that player in the last 25, 30 yards.
The creator.
The creator.
Yeah.
The fantasy.
Right.
When you give him the captain's armband, I feel that he cannot handle the pressure of that captain's armband putting the team on his shoulder. If you don't give it to him, then he becomes depressed and he thinks, oh, Juventus doesn't believe in me because I don't count.
Ludo, Dybala was supposed to be signed already as we speak now. Dybala was supposed to have a signed contract before Christmas. The fact that we are in March, getting into April, and Dybala hasn't been signed, that is a very bad omen, number one.
Anto, I think that has nothing to do. I think based on the times, the COVID, the economic situation, TV rights, not only Juventus, but a lot of teams are waiting to re-sign players until the last moment because of money issues and economic situation all around. It's not just the Juventus.
Let me just say what
decision.
I think. Gaetano had a good point before when he said Dybala should not really be tackling on his own midfield. Dybala è un Cassano, he's the one, è un palleggiatore. There are few in Serie A that they can know.
He has quality, he has feet, he has quality.
There are 5 or 6, not 3 or 4 maybe, not even
feet
5.
Quality, no doubt.
Not
Absolutely.
even in one end, che sono questi palleggiatori, those ball handlers that they can make creativity and something happen to the, they bring the entire team. Dybala, when I see him slide tackling and try to play defense to please Allegri and company up there like Agnelli and the lapdog, that means the pressure is on. He said, unless you show me that you're doing all of those things that you've been asked, you might not be signed
unless you play.
I don't think Dybala has been written off so far. I think 100%, not 90, 100% is out.
I get what you're saying to an extent. Yeah, you can't depend on Dybala. He doesn't guarantee you a certain amount of games, and to give him the captain's armband, for him to be the bandiera, you need someone that's gonna be there for the games, someone you can count on. And that's been a huge question mark the past few seasons for Dybala. It hasn't been a one-time thing. It's been multiple things. Now the question is, I would re-sign him. But then you think, if you don't re-sign him, who else is there? Is there someone in Serie A or someone that you guys are aware of that can take his position, that has his qualities, that can guarantee you those games? Because to me, I don't see anyone else. So if I would just re-sign him based on the fact, because there's no one else I don't think that could fill his spot right now.
You're talking about 8 million a year after tax. Now you're looking at 13, 14 million.
Who's there? Okay, who are you signing?
That's 50, 60 million.
Okay, Ludo.
I mean, I could buy someone. I mean,
who are you gonna get though? Who comes to mind that can?
Mike, I don't think. See, what I hear. A lot of Juventus fans around me that surround me in my life.
He's surrounded.
Scudetto, Juventus Scudetto. Yeah. I'm tired of hearing the Scudetto. Yeah. It's not about the Scudetto. It's the project. What does Juventus need to become a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, a Liverpool? These types of teams.
AC Milan.
To go to the next level in Champions League and make an impact. It's not about the Scudetto anymore. It's done. Let's talk about the next project. That's what I think the focus of Juventus should be, and that's what I think they are thinking about.
Okay, very quickly. Resign Dybala, Anto?
No.
Ludo? No. Peter?
Come to Inter.
No, if you were the management, would you resign him?
I know. I was making a joke.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Man has a sense of
Gaetano?
I would resign him but change his position.
Ooh.
Like in front of the defense, right, Gaetano?
In front of the
Dybala is a little messy. Look at the way Messi plays and just play the same position that Messi plays.
Okay.
Exactly.
The problem is Allegri doesn't give him that flexibility.
Right. Okay.
So
that's
why you don't sign him.
Okay.
You're not going to sign him.
I don't know if him and Allegri
click.
No, they hate each other.
So you can have
different ways of seeing the game based on the way Allegri sees it.
We talked a lot. The thing that we didn't talk about is the big game. I think everyone knows Ludo knows what I'm talking about. Anto knows what I'm talking about.
That's why I'm
Peter
here.
and Gaetano smiling at me the whole time because he knows what I'm talking about.
I was all fired up before for that game.
Reload the ammo. Because guys, we are here to talk about Napoli versus Milan. I just want to set the foundation. Let the ideas percolate. Let the emotions come back. and while I set the stage right now.
Let them go last.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go last.
Let them go
Hopefully,
last.
I'll tie your hands behind your back so there's no fist fighting or anything like that, because we're all friends here. We're all fratelli, right?
You see what it's we're all
No.
entitled to our own opinion.
This is the instigation that is going on.
I was kidding.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Okay.
But regardless, if you guys are living under a rock, Milan did get a huge 1-0 victory at the Maradona. Marco witnessed it firsthand. He was pitch side. He interviewed the goal scorer, the MVP of the game, Olivier
The world
Giroud,
champion.
the world champion.
The only world champion on the field.
I believe you're right, right? Olivier Giroud, but yes, Milan did win 1-0. Calabria shot, Giroud deflected it in, and they ended up winning 1-0. First, I just gotta say, I'm really disappointed in how Napoli came out, especially at home. At the Maradona, tied with Milan, they did not seem hungry enough. I think Milan played a very good match, close to perfect match, closed them, pressured them, didn't let them be creative, and did what they had to do. Their defense was very solid with Kalulu, Tomori, absolute incredible players over there. Kalulu, just want to say, playing right back, switching to center back, he looks flawless there, so good. Now I got to talk about the players that didn't step up. A lot of players didn't step up for Napoli. Insigne, their captain, very disappointed. I thought he should have carried the team on his back here. Zielinski, very quiet. The one person in attack who tried his best, I think, was Victor Osimhen, but he did not have a lot of help from his teammate. He was fighting. He was running his ass off for 90 minutes, but he didn't have the support of his team to really do something. Even Koulibaly in defense was also trying to go in attack to try to muster a real chance.
There's a why.
But there's a lot of thing that was going on. Fabian was very quiet. A lot of the players that were supposed to step up for Napoli didn't really step up. And on the other hand, I do got to give credit to Milan too. It's not just on Napoli, because I think they played a very good game plan. I think Pioli really got Napoli off their groove over here, and this was a huge statement win, because the winner, which is Milan, is right now first in Serie A right now. So I want to lend the mic off first to...
Who's going to start first?
I want to give it to Peter first. I just basically, what was on your mind prior to the match, and what changed after it and during it?
Prior to the match, I thought Napoli had the upper hand. Because one, they're playing home. Two, Milan played Inter the week in Coppa Italia, so even the minutes in the players' legs, and I felt Napoli also had a big psychological advantage, winning that last minute, scoring that last minute goal and winning versus a Lazio. Where maybe Lazio should have had, or maybe they had better chances in the first half, maybe could have closed the game earlier, and Napoli were able to overcome that. That's what I thought, especially after that Lazio game, seeing Spalletti, really emotionally, he was crying to a certain extent, where I think he said, this is a game that you win if you're looking for the Scudetto. I know you're going to say we're never in for the Scudetto, but I think in this right now where we are, Napoli have to at least have a little belief that they're right there for the taking. So I was surprised. I thought obviously the Barcelona game, the thrashing, also had a similar effect of with Inter with Liverpool, and I think even with this Napoli game versus a Milan, I was so disappointed, because I really wanted Napoli to come out. Not saying that I wanted Napoli to win. I think as a neutral fan, or rather an Inter fan, I was hoping for a tie. I didn't want anyone to jump up and steal the points.
For your own sake, you
for
mean?
Inter's sake, yes.
Wow.
But at the same time,
What a
I was
smart
hoping for a good game,
Right.
and I felt like Napoli were just, they didn't have it. They didn't have it this game, and I think Milan, especially the individuals on that left hand side, Theo Hernandez and Leao, unbelievable players. I think, like Mike said, Kalulu and Tomori in defense. They're the new modern day defenders, where they're just as quick as the striker, and I think they gave a good test for this Napoli side. And Osimhen, Osimhen did his part, but he was always lacking that support, like Mike said, and was too isolated at times. So you can only beat 1-2. You can't beat the whole defense. And then listen, Milan, although they played better, they got a goal that was very much avoidable for Napoli. So it wasn't like you guys really finalized this game. I think you guys
not dominated.
Yeah, you guys got that goal, and listen, good teams find a way to score, find a way to win. But I think the biggest part of this Pioli's team is the defense and the way that you guys are able to transition, but also how you're able to maintain that high press and then also that defensive block. So
Gaetano.
So I think that Napoli, the fans, Spalletti, they were not expecting that their biggest guns, they disappoint them the most. So Napoli played for the 4-2-3-1. That three, which was Politano, Zelinski, and Insigne, very, very disappointing game. And Fabian Ruiz, who was on the 4-2, another disappointing game. Now, you cannot go into a big game with AC Milan and those four big guns and you don't show up. And especially you playing home, you have there was definitely no Katzima in this team. Yeah. Okay? You playing home, you got 60,000 people cheering for you. I mean, you got to give your blood until the last second. And I heard Marco was by the field there. He says he was listening to some of the players and Giroud and the other players screaming and yelling on top of the line to get the players, to play as hard as they could. And that's what made the difference, I think, in that game. I think that Milan showed me some character in that game. I mean, they went to Napoli and they were pressing Napoli in that game. I mean, you're Napoli. You have 60,000 people behind you. You should not let them breathe out of the area. You should have put so much pressure that you should have get them dizzy. But Napoli did not do it. And I give a lot of credit to Milan because Milan, they were away. It was a very tough game. I mean, Giroud, I saw him on the floor. Man, the guy had a gash like this. His whole leg was split up. You knew that he needed a lot of stitches. Man, they bended that leg. I say he's out of the game. There's no way that he's going to be. The next play, he was sprinting 100 miles an hour to go get the ball.
He's a champion.
And then he comes out and he scores a goal and Marco interviews him. Now, he interviewed him in Milano and Giroud scored the winning goal. He interviews him in Maradona and he gets the winning goal. So they had a little thing going at the end of the game.
Good luck charm, right?
Yeah.
He's going to hire him.
Let's get Marco back in New York.
He's going to move to Milano. So, but listen, Napoli's still there. They got a tough game coming up. If they come out real good and they win the next game, they still going to hang up there. To tell you the truth, when Anguissa left, Osimhen left, and Koulibaly left for the African Cup, I said Napoli won't be able to withstand. And they did. And they're still there in first place. And now that you have all your guns there, they didn't do it.
Yeah, good point, Gaetano. I don't know who I want to bring this to.
No, I have a couple of.
Okay.
Go, Ludo, go.
No, because
Losers
basically
first.
I want to.
Look at the instigator.
Okay, so this is my take on the situation. It's not only about a game, a mentality, a winning mentality. It's not a light switch that you turn on and off. You coming off the Lazio game. Oh, now turn on the switch and you. No, it doesn't. I don't believe in that, and I never did. Unfortunately, in Napoli, we do not have that winning culture mentality. We do not have it. The last time we had it was in 1990 when we won the second Scudetto. Maradona was there. Why? Because he was a true leader, the best player that ever lived, and all the other players, he took them to the next level. So we do not have that mentality. Napoli has showed us in the past that the important games, Napoli fails to show up. Yes, you're going to have once in a while that hoorah, that gives you that little bit of hope, that ounce of hope, but then you're back to reality.
That breaks my heart to hear that, Ludo.
It does. Listen, I'm realistic. Those followers, those people that know me, I speak my mind and I speak
the truth.
I'm realistic. I live the Maradona era and I'm living this era. We do not have that winning mentality, what it takes to win a game, to win something, to win the Scudetto. We come close, but then we fail at certain points. The past 5 games, Napoli has not been playing well. Teams have learned that they have to play Napoli really high, and they pressure us, and we're not able to come out with the ball the way we used to and impose our own style of play.
Milan did that perfectly.
I think yesterday, Pioli, tactically speaking, kicked Spalletti's ass.
Nice.
100%.
Well said.
He put on a field, to my understanding, I rewatched the game, a little bit slow motion. What I saw was a 4-1. The cashier that we always saw in front of the defense, he moved them up behind Giroud.
Yeah.
Even though cashier, you're missing that physicality in front of the defense, but he moved them. Cashier, he moved them up
to take away from Fabian Ruiz.
Benisser, basically attacking, pressuring the ball carriers, Lobotka and Fabian Ruiz. Tonali, man to man, he took Zielinski to the bathroom. He followed him all over.
Yeah, didn't let him move.
It took a lot of pressure. It took a lot of aggressiveness. It took a lot of intensity. And if you guys notice the changes, Pioli changed all 3 midfielders. Those guys, they all came out of the game. Kessier, Benacer and Tonali, they were all substituted because of the amount of energy
that they wasted.
Applying that type of pressure. Of course, like Gaetano said, the 3 players did not show up. Isolated Osimhen in the front. Tonali did not make Zielinski move. I think at this point we should go back to a realistically speaking 4-3-3. The 4-2-3-1 currently with those men is not working. Elmas for Insigne does not work. Elmas changed the game against Lazio by substituting Zielinski in the middle and creating the opportunities. That's where Elmas needs to play.
Got too far on the left, you're right.
Look at the last 5 games that Napoli played, playing from the back. We're not able, and everyone is attacking us very high. They're pressuring us high and not making us come out and impose our style of play. Lobotka needs to have someone next to him. I think we should go back to the 4-3-3 because yesterday the midfielder Pioli outplayed us. And also I think that yes, certain teams most teams have okay, these are the players, these are the starters, and these are the subs. If Zielinski, Insigne, right now, they are not producing, they are not in shape, you have other starters. Start those players. Start other players and not just, to keep those people on the field. This is how I saw the game yesterday. I think Milan did deserve to win, regardless of the penalty on Osimhen. Yes, we'll see the next couple of games, another game, the same foul is going to be committed. VAR is going to call that penalty, and that's been the issue with Serie A. When can VAR intervene? Why it does not intervene today, but it does a different day? That would always be the dilemma. But right now, we do not. But the most of all is the mentality. We do not have the winning mentality, and we need to watch ourselves. Even though we have 10 points currently from the fourth place team, if Spalletti does not make certain changes on the field by starting certain players, we could that game Sunday against Verona is going to be tougher than the Milan game yesterday. Those guys will pressure you. Those guys will attack you because now they know. And Spalletti needs to do something. And also, regards to Spalletti, he needs to be more realistic. He has to get away from the Napoli mentality before he arrived to Napoli. Maradona is going to bless us. Maradona is going to do this. Let him rest in peace. Forget about Maradona. Stop talking about Maradona. Maradona is gone. He's no longer with us. But the talk, the way to motivate the team based on Maradona, that's not the way to do it. So I do blame Spalletti, certain player, but also tactically, Pioli outplayed Spalletti 100%, and Milan deserved to win.
Okay, so for you, the blame was equal on the players and the coach, right?
Yes, because you had the game within the first 20 minutes. Napoli did play. Napoli did impose. But then Milan took over with those assessments in the midfield, the way they were set up, pressuring Kessier playing up, pressuring the ball carriers, and Tonali being the shadow of Zielinski. He created, Milan had that superiority. They had that extra man in the midfield that Napoli was never able to. And you cannot leave Osimhen alone like that and always looking for Osimhen and make the guy run.
I get what you're saying on that, but in terms of if the players, like Gaetano was saying, the three that were there, Politano, Insigne, and Zielinski, if they showed even half the effort that Osimhen showed, I think they could have at least done something. Because to me, it wasn't just a tactical point from how Milan they played them. It was the lack of hunger and the lack of bite that Napoli showed that disappointed me. That's what disappointed me the most about it.
That's the mentality that we do not have as a
I didn't see them
culture,
running after every ball.
As a team, we don't have that. We don't, because the important games, certain players that's supposed to be leaders do not show up for the game. Zielinski did not show up against Lazio. He came out, Elvis came in for him, and he changed the game.
Let me ask you.
Why put Elvis for Insigne?
Let me ask you something, Ludo.
I mean, it's boring. They're always playing back. You cannot impose on the other team, even against Lazio, other games. The ball, boom, passing back. Jesus, it's annoying. Yeah. Stop. Now you need to change. Go back to the 4-3-3. Every ball gets played back. Now, you saw, who mentioned Koulibaly going up?
Me.
Because
there was a lack of attack.
Correct. Lobotka and what's his name? And Fabian were being pressured by Bennacer. They couldn't move. And Koulibaly was forced to come up. But there was we never had that player between the lines or the players between the lines that can create the superiority on Milan. But Milan created on us.
Gaetano, were you going to say something?
No, real quick. You think there's a lack of leadership on the field?
Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely, 100%.
I think so.
It's that Insigne, yes.
Insigne as a captain does not have it.
Correct. No.
Should Koulibaly be doing more, even though he's the next captain? Do you think he should be more vocal or try to be that voice in that locker room? Since we see Insigne is lacking.
I mean, if you one thing I want to say about AC Milan, then let him do because we're getting too long. There are certain players that if you do not perform, they'll break your leg. And I'm saying Ibrahimovic. If you don't perform, and I remember reading the book of Pirlo, when they went back into the locker room, they were not afraid of the coach. They were afraid of Gattuso. Gattuso will grab you and he will punch you if you did not perform. And that was the great AC Milan. Sometimes a player like that, that's what makes the winning mentality that Ludo was talking about.
Okay,
Go ahead.
First, I want to respond to Mike's trying to challenge Ludo with the three on the top with Zielinski, Insigne and Politano. When you have the pressure of the Milan defense being breathing on your neck, it's not easy to just move the ball forward. That's why they were kind of forced to pass the ball backwards. That's number one. Number two, this is what was not the game for Spalletti to mirror what Pioli does on the field, the 4-2-3-1. You know that AC Milan midfield is superior in terms of intensity. AC Milan came to play with intensity. We have a lot of great midfielders. The fact that he used Kessié right on the top, right behind Giroud, is to take away Fabian Ruiz, because Fabian Ruiz takes the ball from the defense and makes things happen.
All right, but on the last game you said that was the wrong position for Kessié.
Well, I didn't like that position because I like more. In this particular case, I liked it. I'll tell you the reasons why. Because Brahim Diaz, it's not somebody that physically can take you out. But Kessié was asked just to physically take Fabian Ruiz out. Number one. Number two, it's your fault if you Napoli lost. First of all,
Ludovico.
First of all, you have that stupid mentality that the superstitious BS doesn't work. Peter didn't show up, didn't sit on that chair. That was Sabrina that showed up, Giuseppe Falanga's wife. Let me finish, it's my turn.
People that should not have been here.
Sabrina!
I said the same formation.
All right, so Napoli lost because of Mike.
You know,
Mike,
it's Ludo's
you are the one who
Listen
reason
to me.
why Napoli lost.
And Sabrina, this is the fact. Sabrina had an AC Milan overall like mine. Overall. She had a similar jacket, and under the jacket had Davide Calabria shirt.
Why?
He's the one that took the shot because Calabria is her favorite player.
Because she's from Calabria.
She likes Calabria.
He's right.
But Calabria is the favorite player that she likes. Calabria took the shot and Giroud just tapped it right in. It's your fault. That's number one. Number two.
You already said number two.
Spalletti.
The shot that Calabria took, it was going as a throw-in.
Right. Spalletti is a choker. Spalletti will not try something that is, in this particular case, creative to put some pressure on AC Milan. Like you said, Osimhen went by himself. You have to put more on the midfield, and he failed to do that. So what he did, he made the subs that he was not supposed to make. Insigne, for me, shouldn't even have started at the beginning from the second half. Insigne should have been pulled out. Insigne was never a factor on the game. He stayed over there for 65 minutes until he got subbed without doing anything. He didn't take a shot. He didn't do a creative pass. He didn't do anything.
Too late. Also, the subs. The subs were
late.
And the subs came in wrong
position. In the wrong position.
Based where they were. The defense, listen, the defense gave
they
up a
held
goal.
their
That
own.
was what do you call that? A ping pong goal? What do you call that? Took the shot.
Yeah, the shot. Yeah, deflection.
Foosball goal.
Right. But it's one of those goals, but technically, the defense, there's nothing you can.
When the subs came in, it seems like they were a little bit
just
more
for 5
alive.
minutes, got down to 5 minutes, and that's it. Then they adjusted.
I mean, Unas, when he came
Unas,
in, he
was
did more
Unas
than
that
everything.
took the shot with the left.
Yeah, it was Unas.
He took a left shot.
Unas, yes,
Unas.
I got confused with Elmas. You're right.
He took a left shot, which was.
Well,
at least they
like that on the TV, but then you watch it.
At least they took a shot. They started taking a shot. Mertens took a shot. They tried to do something.
Guys, one thing that is missing over here. Excuse me, Ludo. Kalulu is a staple on the AC Milan defense. Just write it down right here. We don't need even more defender. We don't need Kajer. We don't need any more. That's it. It's over. Kalulu is a staple. We have now Tomori. We have now Kalulu. We have Calabria. Florenzi to sub. And we have Theo Hernandez on right hand side. We don't need anybody. This is the team. This is the team, without laughing, that is going to win the Campionato.
So you can get rid of your captain?
What do you mean? Who's my captain? Oh, Romagnoli? Please, I will give it to you. And I will pay pay you to take him. Romagnoli.
You want him out?
Romagnoli is not a defender that he can play on AC Milan.
Just a quick
Let
question.
him play on Fiorentina. Let him play on another team, and we'll take. And we'll take. Hold on.
I hope Joe Barone is not listening.
Oh no! I hope Joe Barone is listening. I want
sleeping.
their center defender over there. I want Milenkovic to come to AC Milan, and we'll give you Romagnoli.
I think
You
have
just
to
said
break-
Kalulu and Tomori your future. All of a sudden you want
Listen,
Milenkovic.
if I have to play a defender, I'd rather to have a Milenkovic. I have a lot. I like him a lot more than Romagnoli. Romagnoli is not an AC Milan caliber.
Okay, and
All right.
Anto, one more question for
Yeah.
you in terms of how Milan played. How much did this prove to you how serious they are for the Scudetto? Because when we did the stream, you weren't nervous at all.
I wasn't nervous.
Does this prove more to you that they got this win? Does this solidify more that they can really go until the final match day?
Listen.
In terms of mentality?
Listen, besides the mind game that I'm accustomed to, but this game has shown that AC Milan is not there to take chances or to try something. They went over there attacking Napoli on their home because a game is a game. The fattore campo does not exist when you want to win the game. So AC Milan, they just put the earplug, the players, and they went over there to play hard. So this is what you do when you want to win. Now, the things that scares me the most are the little teams that they close themselves into a bundle and they make sure that AC Milan, they don't let AC Milan play their style of game. And so now I wanted to see a smart as Pioli when you come into play middle of the range team and a lower range like teams fighting for survival to stay in Serie A. How the hell are you going to break those locks when it comes down to to get the win, to get the ugly win that Allegri is capable to do for Juventus? Now, having said that, with all due respect, just taking some of the Peters line, I think we got the team this year to win the whole thing.
Oh, boy!
I'm sorry,
Listen,
Okay.
I think just one thing
go
I want to remind. I think what you need to be happy about as a Milan fan, you have the youngest team in Serie A. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Yeah, they have the youngest team in Serie A. These players, they do need experience, even if you do not win the Scudetto this year. But continue on this project and these young players gaining additional experience, even internationally. I think Milan will be the team to beat in the next 3-4 years.
For sure.
And going back to Napoli, and I'm going to sign off, for 9 years, it was Napoli and Juventus. Inter and Milan were not even on the map.
Non-existent.
They were non-existent. We had the opportunity to win the Scudetto, but we failed. We failed because of mentally when we finished behind Juventus with 91 points. 91, not easy to have 91 points. It was only us and Juventus for 3-4 years. We had the roster, we had the players, we did not have the mentality to win it 3-4 years ago. And also, De Laurentiis did not invest in the January transfer market
To help
the roster and push Napoli through. And that was a great opportunity for us. Now it's even harder because they're back from contenders.
Back from the dead, basically.
So basically, as Napoli fans, we have to be really careful. We have to try very hard to finish third, fourth place if we're lucky. But as far as gaining that mentality and the Scudetto, I think we're light years away. And that's not something that you get overnight or within 1 year. It takes years and years of suffering, of trying to change the mentality. But right now, we are still in the basement.
Oh my God, Ludo, that's kind of crazy.
And Ludo, I just wanted to say, would a coach change a mentality?
Absolutely
or do
not.
you need,
No.
How much?
No, it's a cultural change, Mike. It's not the coach. It's a cultural change. Cultural. It's the city itself. You need the players. You need the players that will take you to that level.
I mean, you have
to the
quality
next
players.
level, but not mentally. We have the quality, but the important appointments, the important games, these players, they basically are not there. They get scared.
But
They're
what's
scared.
what's the difference between Milan players and there's a lot of players in Milan that haven't won, and there's a lot of players in Napoli that haven't. What's the difference?
Listen to me, I'll tell you the difference before Ludo tells you. First of all, like Atano said, we have Ibrahimovic. Even though when Ibrahimovic is not playing, Ibrahimovic is looking at you. You mess around or you slack off, you're going to hear from it. And you're not going to hear just with words. You're going to get your ass kicked. That is number one. Number two, I still blame Ludo for Napoli loss. He's the key, because when you see here, he's going to have to stop. I mean, you can be I am more superstitious than him. You don't know me. But
Neapolitans,
Even more,
as a
right?
whole, they
The cherry on
not just
the-
regards to culture, we're superstitious.
Right.
In life in general.
Now I learned that you don't leave the keys on the table, because I learned it from Ludo. Even though, but Ludo, the cherry on the cake was Poli Malignacci showing up. You know, as an AC Milan fan, big Cassano fan, he comes over there and he surprises everybody, and he enjoys watching AC Milan beating Napoli, which was the greatest part of the Sunday for me. So that was great.
Let me ask a question to you guys. What are the odds the Scudetto ends up in Milano? Gaetano, what is your percentage?
Which part of Milano?
Just
Any
in Milano,
Milano.
in the
This
city.
Milano, Ludo.
Gaetano,
90%.
Peter,
95%.
Ludo,
90%.
Anto.
100.
I say 88%.
88.
88%.
What did
There's,
you?
there's still a little slither of hope for Napoli, I think, and maybe even Juve.
Mike, you watch so many cartoons, Mike. You
I'm a
have to just
believer.
Go to
Next game, very quickly, Lazio beat Cagliari 3-0. Immobile scored a penalty, so he's tied in the Capocannoniere charts with Vlahovic. Fiorentina drew, but the storyline here is Piontek has 6 goals in 9 games, so he's replacing Vlahovic pretty good so
good
far.
job.
Even though they brought Cabral to replace him, but it seems like Vlahovic is the guy. Sampdoria lost to Udinese, but Giovinco came in as a substitute. His first appearance back in Serie since 2015 with Juventus. So welcome back, Seba. We're happy to see you. A quick question for you guys. I'll go around really quick. Who would you rather have at your club? You can only pick one. I'm going to say their names and I'm going to say their stats. Giacomo Raspadori, 22 years old, 9 goals, 3 assists. Domenico Berardi, 27 years old, 12 goals, 10 assists. Gianluca Scamacca, 23-year-old, 11 goals, 0 assists. Anto, who you picking?
Berardi, hands down. He's the best. Berardi.
Ludo.
I like Raspadori because Scamacca he already has.
Okay, so you can pick one.
Raspadori.
Okay.
He has to pick Scamacca.
Scamacca.
He's
I
already
need a
part of
number
Italy.
9.
Scamacca?
Oh, yeah.
You need a number 9 too.
No, I need Berardi will do the job for me.
But you need a number 9.
Berardi can score
Anyway,
regardless of that.
Berardi.
Berardi?
Yeah.
I think Berardi, if Insigne goes away, I would put
My
Berardi
God.
there. It would not be a bad. He's not going to be a bad player. I
They
like
like this guy,
I like
Zerbin.
Berardi.
Yeah.
I like
Zerbin, they like to replace
I don't know
Insigne.
him.
I like
But I have a message for Immobile. Can he stop scoring the next couple of games so he saves a couple of goals for,
For
the
that
Italian
Zurich
national team at the end of March?
Oh my God.
That might be a pretty good thing because the Azzurri are playing very soon in a couple of
So let's
weeks.
hope he doesn't score the next couple of games and he scores with Italy.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I would pick Scamacca. First of all, because he's younger than Berardi, he's gonna have a few more years, and I think he's gonna be the next great. No, I wouldn't say great. Next good Italian striker. I think he has a mentality and he's fearless. I just want to go through a couple of questions from a fan really quickly here. This one's from Reply Guy 3759. He said, "Where's the best landing spot for Belotti? Where's the best team that Belotti should go to?"
Serie B.
Wait.
Come to play in Bari. I'll take
You
him.
think of him in Serie B?
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Belotti is not a caliber, a team caliber.
So mid-table team.
Yeah,
for him only?
Fiorentina, I will say. Fiorentina actually is
But
coming
they
up
have two
big.
strikers right now.
Yeah, but Fiorentina is coming up big. I don't think, not even Belotti. I don't know, maybe
could use
Sampdoria.
You could use him.
No, I can't.
Sampdoria, but they're like kind of similar.
No, Sampdoria. Fiorentina's got good strikers and they don't need Belotti. Sampdoria.
Ludo, how about you? Belotti, where is next destination?
I think Belotti is not ready for a big team. I think Belotti needs to go to a team where fighting for let's say an Europa League / last place in Champions, fourth, fifth, sixth place, that transitional, that gap team, that bridge team.
Maybe Lazio.
Like a Fiorentina kind of team.
No,
I don't
Fiorentina's
is
gone
a
now.
level,
Fiorentina
team.
level.
I think a team that can qualify.
The thing is, they don't need a striker. Roma has Tammy Abraham. Lazio has Immobile. Napoli has Osimhen. The only ones are the top teams that are desperately in need for.
But
for
Sassuolo
striker.
is going to be losing Scamacca and
Maybe
Raspadori.
Sassuolo, but does he make that? I don't think that's.
I don't
think he's
being at the same on a team that will more or less have 2-3 points less or more than you at the end of the season.
Verona is a good
You're not
smart.
really make that jump. You're not really
Simeone.
making that.
Yeah, but still.
I think Belotti, if he goes to a team, there's been a lot of talks that he'll go to Milan.
No, he's not going to
but
Milan.
he
Who
won't
told that?
be a starter.
No, it's not going to be. AC Milan is not going to start Belotti. Believe me when I'm telling
You
you.
need a forward.
Maybe he can
you
go to
got somebody
Turkey.
who's 40 and
No,
somebody who's 35.
Maybe he can go to Turkey.
How old is Belotti?
It's 27,
I'll
28
look.
at least.
He's got to be there.
We don't need Belotti. What the hell?
Well, that's his last contract.
But who are you going to get for the forward?
Don't worry about it. We got this kid here.
Ibra doesn't. He plays 3 games.
Hey, we got a 20 years old already.
28,
Just
28.
That's his
28,
last
that's
contract.
Right, that's too much.
That's his last. I mean, a team is going to sign him. Probably he's going to get a 4-year contract. He's going to get
We're
to
not
age
spending-
32.
First of all, how much is Belotti commanding in terms of salaries?
Not much.
Not much? What do you mean, not much?
He's not gonna-
1.82 million top.
2 million?
He's not going to
Top.
be that
Wow,
much.
and it was already at some point that this guy was holding on the owner. He won $100 million.
He refused. No, he refused.
Well,
he refused.
Ky-
he refused a lot of money.
Cairo.
He didn't want
A
to sell
big
him.
mistake.
Yeah, Cairo didn't want to sell. 2-3 years ago, whatever it was, 4 years ago.
Imagine he did go to Milan. That would have been crazy.
I don't
But
think
we
so.
We don't know how that would have turned out.
Listen, nothing against Belotti, but Belotti is...
But that's why I would love to see him, like a team that makes Europa League or plays in
You think he
Europe.
gets settled there
and to
good?
see how.
maybe Napoli could be a good fit for Belotti.
I don't think we have. No,
Osimhen.
you have the Osimhen.
Bene,
Ma
Petagna.
come seconda punta.
Petagna.
Come seconda punta.
You have Petagna.
Belotti secondo
Petagna's
punto.
I don't know.
Okay, and last question before... Last question before we go. This one is from Bradaric. He said, maybe you guys can name a team that used to be in Serie A but isn't in the top anymore, or you want to see back, like more of a nostalgic team.
Bari.
This guy said Como because a lot of Croatian players were over there, and he
Yeah.
said love from Croatia. Anto, you said one?
Bari.
Bari in Serie A?
Yeah.
In a couple of years, maybe we'll see them?
Yeah, definitely. 2 years.
Me?
shot.
Ludo.
Personally?
Yeah.
Palermo, Cagliari, Catanzaro.
Yeah.
Pick
Ah
one.
no, Palermo, Catanzaro, Regina.
Pick one.
I
I can't
Palermo.
pick one.
Palermo.
Because I'm a southerner. I want Calabria and Sicily to represent in Serie A.
What a good guy.
Palermo,
What a good
Regina
guy.
or
See?
Catanzaro.
That's it.
Peter, how about you?
I said Bari, Ludo, so we're down south over there. He's gonna say
No, no,
Monte
no,
di
no.
Procida.
Yeah.
Here you go.
No, I would say Palermo because when I was growing up, Palermo.
Catania was
in
one of
Serie
them
A.
too. Catania.
Yeah, but the amount of players that have
Right.
come
No,
through
yeah,
that
Palermo.
Palermo.
in the
Like
early
Dybala,
2000s.
everybody came
It's a
from
shame
there.
that what they've.
But even
Oh.
Regina was in Serie A, Catanzaro was in
Regina
Serie A
also.
back in
Pirlo,
the day.
Pirlo started in Regina. if you
with
don't- if you
Palanca.
don't
Remember
right?
Palanca?
Oh
How
my
about you?
God.
Yeah, no, you
Gaetano?
remember Palanca, right? Shoe size 37. He used to score from the corner kicks.
Yeah,
Mamma
it
mia.
would be nice for Sicily to be represented in Serie A.
Yeah.
So
I
which? Palermo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to take your Palermo. There's so many players that came out of there. I think it's just amazing to see. Barzai, Sirigu came from there. Dybala
Cavani,
came from there.
Dybala,
Cavani.
Ilicic.
So
A
many
lot of players came
so-
from.
so many players came
But
from
that's
there.
when he had what's his name? Who was
Luca
the general
Toni.
manager?
Luca
You
Toni
had
came from
Sabatini
Palermo.
and Perinetti. Those were the two top guys.
At one point, Palermo had 6-7 players in the national team.
Fabio
And
Grosso,
for the team,
Grosso,
the national
Barone,
team.
Luca Toni.
Barone,
Starting.
Zaccardo.
Even
Zaccardo.
Cagliari in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Cagliari of the 70s, when
Gigi
Gigi
Riva.
Riva, when they won the Scudetto, they had about 8-9 players that were playing for the Italian national team back then.
Yeah, guys, we've talked a lot, over an hour and a half today.
Oh my God.
But time flies when you're with your friends talking calcio. We're hoping best of luck to Inter tomorrow against Liverpool. Hopefully they can
Forza Inter.
pull a small
Forza
miracle
Inter.
in Anfield and do something amazing. And of course, we'll be back before Italy play. But have that in your head because they are playing North Macedonia very soon.
In Palermo.
In Palermo. Marco's actually going to be there. Gaetano may be a surprise guest over there too.
Renzo La
We're not
Barbera.
sure, so we're not going to say anything yet. But a lot of exciting calcio games ahead of us. Guys, thank you for coming in. Guys at home, thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Are you streaming tomorrow? Are we streaming the game? Yes.
Yeah, if you want to come.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm supporting Inter tomorrow.
Then come. The door's open.
Hands down, I'm supporting Inter.
Thank you, everyone.
Will you change your jacket?
I will, definitely. I'm going to put an Inter jacket on.
I'm not
Happy
getting it.
calcio, everyone.
I'll sit,
Ciao,
next,
guys.
Thank you for
I'll sit
having me.
next to Peter.
Forza Serie!